Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, again. Here we go. It is a Sunday, just when we thought we were getting into greener pastures, just when we thought we were turning a corner on some questionable decisions and things of that nature. All the feel good of last week goes to the wayside as the Atlanta Falcons find a way to go in the other direction with this game, man. And give Washington credit for not giving up. Uh, we had the game. Unfortunately, we could not hold it. Washington comes back with two. From a defensive standpoint, when you start thinking about it, just you can't have those plays, y'all. You can't have those plays in the end. First of all, how y'all doing? It's your Uncle Steve here on a Sunday, talking to you live about what happened at the Benz today. Yes, I was there. And yes, it was disappointing again, folks. The record keeps playing over and over again, skipping over and over again. We've got to, and I understand. I listen, at some point, I know you're supposed to say, well, this is a new team. Well, this is a new coach. And I hear everybody preaching patience, and I understand it, and I get it. You have a new coach, new system, new guys, new people doing all of this stuff. But at some point, when you're up 8 with a couple of minutes left, and a team comes back and not only scores 1 touchdown, scores 2 touchdowns, and takes over and wins the game like they did, then you gotta miss me with some of that stuff, man. You gotta do better than that. Falcons did everything they could to try their best to win that game today. Obviously, nobody tries to blow defensive plays in the end. I'm pretty sure if Dean Pease has his opportunity to change what he was doing at the end, because I honestly don't know what he was doing in the end. It's almost like we went to this, because I'm not a coach, so I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend, but some semblance of a prevent defense that just allowed Taylor Heineke to just throw the ball up for grabs, and it happened that their receivers were always around it. It's at some point you have to call it out. Young team, old team, doesn't matter. Got to do better in those situations. So I don't know. It's really strange. How y'all doing, man? Good to see y'all again. Sunday, Falcons lose 34-30. No reason we should have lost that game. Let me give some shout outs to everybody who's joining me. Thank you first. Talk to me, Glenn. How you doing? Say, something's got to give. Joseph Evans, what's up, brother? Sorry I missed you out there. Say your best offensive player cannot be on the sideline during crucial moments of the game. We will get to that shortly. Glenn also says defense was horrible. Let me get over here. Some of the comments I can put up here. Scott, I feel you, Scott, 100%. Corey says, Steve. I'm pretty sure it's like, damn. It's the same thing. Armani, what's going on, my friend? Arlen, what's going on, sir? Said this new stuff smells like the old stuff from last year. We can't finish. Yes, it does, my friend. Yes, it does. Saul, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Corey says Dean Pease talked to all that crap. Yeah, we're going to get to that too. We're going to get to that. Absolutely. I'm going to get to some of that stuff in a second. Scott say, I'm tired of losing. I will join you in that line, sir. Lynn says it doesn't make sense. Lynn, I'm hoping somebody makes it make sense to me too. I can't figure it out, Lynn. I can't. Arlen says being the number one receiver looks different when you have to be the number one receiver. This is true. Not going to kill Calvin a lot, though, on some of that stuff. Corey, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Saul says, this is so frustrating. Very frustrating. Aaron, I just don't know what to say. This dang defense. I hear you. Miss Toya, how you doing today? Say, Uncle Steve, you must not be a drinker. LOL. CNA game live with a baby by the bar. Toya, I'm a very, 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 very limited drinker, which means I don't drink unless I'm like, it's a special occasion or something like that. So, yeah, that does help because I wouldn't have made it home tonight after that junk I just saw. Saul says, let me get your opinion on number 22 and number 39. Yeah, trust me, I got some opinions on that too. I'm gonna go first to the end of the game. I see you, Daniel. What's going on, Daniel? How you doing? Miles, I see you. Said Patterson is balling. He's a young Steven Jackson. Woo, yeah. Well, Atlanta, we don't like to hear the words. We don't like to hear Steven Jackson around here. But Octavius, why run the ball? And everybody keeps saying this. So let me go ahead and get that out the way. Harrison, what's going on, my friends? That our offense was good. Defense was not ready. And that's the crazy thing, Harrison, because it flips from game to game. Defense might not be ready one day. The offense is. Offense not ready. First game of the year, defense is initially. You have to put it all together to have the win. Last week, offense wasn't balling, but they were efficient enough to get the win. Today was a different story. Glenn says Patterson is new starter at running back. Glenn says, can we draft the UGA defense? I wouldn't draft all of them. I'd definitely take a look at Brother Davis and see what he's got. But let me, before we get the cart before the horse, let's take it all the way to the fourth quarter, folks, because I see y'all talking about it already. I'm going to tell you what I think about the last couple of drives the Atlanta Falcons had. Let me first say, aside of my daughter's basketball team, a team in the Army, one of the units we had in basketball, I have never coached a tad of football in my life. So let me preface by saying that. So before some of you smarter than me people come out and say you don't know what you're talking about. Washington comes and gets within 2 points with the throw them up football pass that Heineke threw that got that McLaren caught in the end zone. Ridiculous. We get the ball back with about 4 minutes left. I think it was like 3:50 something. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. While you have had pockets where the run game was okay, you basically picked this team apart through the passing game. You really have. And aside of a penalty on one of the plays, Calvin Ridley basically went out for the ball, Matt threw it, and drew 3 pass interference penalties on the day. One of them got nullified because of holding on us on the other play. Kyle Pitts eating. Hayden Hurst eating. Shoot, Tajay Sharp eating. Cordell Patterson, we don't need to talk about him as what he was doing. Why are you going into super conservative mode? You're up by 2 points. Washington really hasn't stopped you that much. You're going into this ridiculous, almost like it's 30 seconds left in the game and they don't have any timeouts offense. On top of the fact that I'm looking over there and I see, wait a minute, was that Younghoe Koo that just punted the ball? So you got 3 things going. You got a couple of things going there. Your offense is killing them with the short passing game. Give Matt credit. He was letting the ball go today. Matt was getting out of the pocket. Matt was doing some things today that I have to applaud, and no apologies to anybody because these are the things he should be doing anyway. But in the last series, you got so conservative as if you were averaging 8 yards a pop on the ground. Very first play, Malik Davis lose 3 yards. So you're already behind. Dude, attack. Why did you stop attacking? You had the opportunity to end that game right there. And then I go to my point, after the first 2 throwaway plays, which was dumb, then you get to 4th and 4. So I say again, from a coach's standpoint, this is me now. I don't know about y'all. It's 4th and 4. You're about at the 30-something yard, like 31, 32, whatever. It's 4th and 4. You got Younghoe Koo kicking the ball at a 28-yard clip. It's 4th and 4. If you don't get it, it's not like Washington has the greatest kicker in the world on the other side of the field. I would not be surprised that's why they decided on that 3rd down when the Washington had the ball and threw it to McKissick for the touchdown. I guarantee you they were like, yeah, let's try to get this because our kicker is not hitting for anything. And let me tell y'all something ironic. It was a guy that was right behind me, an older gentleman and his wife. Very nice people. And actually, he wasn't dressed in Washington stuff. She had on a little Washington thing and whatever. After me and him were cool back and forth talking about it. That was his son-in-law, the kicker. The kicker was their son-in-law. And he was saying how when everybody, and there was a lot of Washington fans around him, and he told me, he said, yeah, I know he had it real rough. He said, but that's his son-in-law. I was like, wow. So anyway, his son-in-law had no confidence. You missed 2, you missed 2 extra points and barely got the field goal you got. So I'm saying to myself, go for it. You got nothing to lose. At the end of the day, they got about 2+ minutes left. They can't get that many first downs. So you'll get the ball back with an opportunity to possibly score a field goal. I don't understand why you went so conservative. I just don't get it. And maybe that's me. Somebody talked me off the ledge. I don't understand that. I just don't understand that. Let me go down here to Daniel says, you go for it if your punter is hurt. Absolutely. There should have been a fumble on the McLaren catch and fumble. I kind of figured that wouldn't be because, yes, he turned. It was a football move. He turned. But the way they're doing it these days, I just don't think they were going to give him that call. Daniel says there's a rumor on Twitter that Matt Ryan is going to want out like Julio and he'll want to go to Washington. Yeah. Jeffrey, what's going on, brother? Said, I'm sick of these boys every week at last minute trying to come back after they were in the league. Yeah, it's frustrating to know that they had this game and then just let it go. Christian, what's up, brother? Said these birds are killing me, Steve. Harrison, was Patterson on the field? No, that's the other thing, Harrison. Thank you. Doc, I'm trying to tell you. Foolishly, to me, I'm saying Patterson, even running the ball, even in the backfield, taking the care for the back, is still getting at least 4 or 5 yards to carry. And you don't have probably the most dynamic person on your field today in there. Now, I don't know if there was whether he was hurt. I don't know. It doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, I just think it was just a collective brain fart on both sides. Because whatever that defense was, Dean Pease don't come out in any press conferences anytime soon talking about ugly and not ugly and all of that stuff. Because not only that was ugly, that was putrid at the end. Now, as much as I'm going to dog the offensive I don't know, brain trust at the end. I don't know what defense that was that you were playing at the very end of the game to let them drive down the field 2 times to score a touchdown, not field goals, touchdowns. But it seemed like the same thing. We got them in a couple of third downs, and every third down, they got a big 15, 20 yards where the wide receiver has 5 yards between them where there's nobody in space. A couple of those throws, Heineke was kind of threw some bad. If he had thrown them in stride, they probably would have scored earlier then. But just not good, man. Rusty, what's up? I said so many coaching blunders. It's calling soft plays, knowing we have no punter to flip the field position, terribly soft zone on that last drive. You need to man up at that point and not give up any passes. New staff, some new players, same old garbage. Yes. Harrison says rookie coaches. Brother Meach, what's going on? Meach said, according to Smith, he trusted Mike Davis on that particular drive, which is why Patterson wasn't in the game, which to me was ridiculous. You go with the hot hand. You go with the hot hand. That's what you do. That's what you do, y'all. I'm sorry. That was not real cool. Dre, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Said, hold on, let me get back here. I'm trying to get some names matched up with y'all. Here we go. I can't see who that is. Forgive me. He said, what's happening, Steve? Thought I was going to be a complete weekend between the Dogs and Falcons. But, of course, the Falcons found another way. Don't forget the Braves. The Braves actually ended up helping us out with that as well. Brother Ruben, what's going on? The defense gave up. And I don't think the defense gave up. I'm not sure if the defense was in great position. Now, how ironic is this, y'all? Who would ever thought that you would go into an end of the game and say, woo, I wish Isaiah Oliver was out there. But, man, that hurt us when he went out of the game at the end. Heineke ended up kind of picking us apart when you started talking about that. That's Dominique says they went away from the hot hand to get too conservative was the main meltdown. Plain and simple. I don't see another explanation. Miles, from what I'm seeing, Arthur Smith is predictable, no creativity, and should be on his way somewhere else. Now, I'm not going to listen. All that being said, I'm not going to say his play calling. He did a good job today. You know what they kept doing? Did you see the movement and the different formations and stuff? Their defensive line didn't know what to do early. I'm not going to throw him completely under the bus yet because I think what he was doing early was working. I think he just stopped at the end. And maybe that was due to personnel he didn't have available. I don't know. But at the end of the game, it's more important for me that you come through at the end of the game. Remember last week? Last week we were down 14-7. It was more important for you to get that last quarter right as opposed to getting everything before that because now it's time to win the game. And the same way the Giants fans were upset about that loss last week, we're in the same shoes this week. Toy said this is so depressing. I agree. Marcus says, I'm sorry, but Matt had a good game. Well, we can't go 3-and-out on that drive and give Washington the football back. And Marcus, your first 4 words, I'm sorry. The whole sentence. I'm sorry, Matt had a good game. So if Matt has a good game, Marcus, why are we not pushing the pass down the field? Listen, at least by second down, try to throw the ball down and get some of those yards back. So third down, we're not looking at 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 13. By the time you got 4th and 4, it could have been 3rd and 4. You could have tried that then. I don't understand. You don't go conservative. If they're beating you like that, then make them stop. We were getting nice little short passes. Pitt showed that he can catch the ball every now and then, dude. We were doing some good stuff. We just stopped. We stopped. Saul says coach played scared at the end. I don't know what other word to say. Scared is pretty accurate to me. It's almost like you were trying not to lose. I'm like, dude, you were losing. Come on, man. Jimmy said defense wet the bed. Defense or whatever defense they were putting them in. Arlen said bad play calling and wrong people in the game. Now, again, they could have been hurting because I know Isaiah was out. I don't know who else was out. But, Dominic said it was way too much time for Washington to score for the offense to go 3 and out that fast. That's what I don't understand either. But you hit all my points, Stephen. And I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that way. But, I mean, just sitting there watching the ebb and flow of the game, the one thing I was saying about Atlanta, I was like, well, look, they're not stopping y'all really on defense. The great vaunted Washington football team defense, they got to Matt once, but the other times Matt stepped out and did some good things. Why are we going to a run game that has been suspect? We were doing the run to just keep it balanced. At the end of the game, now you need to get some first downs. How are you getting your first downs most of the time? You're getting the first downs by running the ball. Passing the ball. Why don't you just keep passing? At some point, you made to say the time didn't matter at that time because you still had 3 timeouts. So what? If you got 3 incomplete passes, which I still would have thrown 3 passes, maybe 2 and 1. You get 3 incomplete passes, then so be it. We'll deal with that. We'll have enough time to get the ball back and move on. But I just thought that was horrible. And then you end up, of course they're going to give you the middle of the field on a couple of those plays so you can, get down there. Of course they are. That's just crazy. Jimmy said that last drive was pathetic. It was. Magnar, how you doing? Says defense left in the middle of the field wide open. And that's the thing, Magnar, that is surprising to me. Like, I don't understand. They were gashing you with whatever that defense was. Whatever that was, they were gashing you. Completely gashing you. Yet you still went back to the well. You kept going back to the well the whole time. Christian said, are we looking at Dan Quinn 2.0? I hope not. Tim, what's going on, my friend? Said, unbelievable play calling. Arthur Smith classic line is we got to do a better job. Like, man, come on. That's all we keep hearing. Tim, I heard that in the press conference, and I went in the game with an afro, and I came back like this because I pulled all my hair out. Dude, yeah. At some point, whether you're the Falcons, whether you're the Texans, whether you're the Jets, whether you're the Giants, teams that everybody is expecting to not do well, at some point, folks still want you to win those games you can win. Today was an extremely winnable game. Extremely winnable. So I really don't get it. I don't get that. Corey says it was previous defense giving them all those yards. Why can't we be aggressive and run blitzes and stunts? Here's the problem. Here's the whole thing with that, Corey. Why are we running prevent defense? We got to stop them. Why are we letting them get down the field? You should be playing man. Why are we playing prevent defense up 2? I was looking at the game just a second ago over here. Cardinals up by Cardinals up by 3 touchdowns. They're not playing prevent defense. But we up 2 and think, oh, you know what? Just let them get to the 30 and then we'll start playing. Saul says, please talk about that touchdown, and number 39 looked frozen and didn't even make a play. It was interesting to me, Saul, when I saw that. I was saying to myself, he almost looked like, oh, that wasn't supposed to come over here. That ball wasn't supposed to come my way. I wish I had an explanation for it. Because I looked at the same thing, and there's another guy sitting next to me, and me and him were lamenting the whole thing. He said, what was 22 and 39 doing? What were they doing? I said, I don't know. Again, probably one of the few times that I would say, man, I can't believe I'm sitting here saying, where's Isaiah Oliver? Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh boy. David says, true that the Braves did their thing. Yes, they did. Absolutely. Daniel says AJ Terrell should have traveled with Terry all weekend. I mean, all game. Yeah, probably so. Rusty said, remember last year we played the Vikes and you made a point to point out that they gave Alexander Madison a mini movie documentary before the game. Me and my son laugh about that even to this day. They did the same thing with Heineke today. They knew this no-name bum was going to have a career day on the Falcons. You know, they kept going back to where they were saying this was his first time that he had ever played, against the Falcons. Was his first game, and he sucked. So, of course, that put the kiss of death on today, where he looked like a hero. Ontavia says, what's your thoughts about that miracle TD pass? Again, just not being in place. Dude, you got to be in front of the cat. How are you behind him? Not only behind him, but out of the end zone. How are you behind the receiver in the end zone? And dude, that to me bothers me. If anything, you say, listen, I'll take the penalty if you make a mistake and grab him, but you're behind him. And with your head turned the other way. Dave says, man, if we don't beat the Jets, shoot, Jets got momentum now. Harrison said, is Ridley ready to be a top receiver? I'm not sure, man. I think Ridley is going to be nice. Ridley had a couple of plays, and I know Ridley does this all the time. If y'all ever notice, especially when he does crossing routes, Ridley does this thing where Ridley is fast, don't get me wrong, but he always runs across, and then he'll try to dip in the middle, and then he'll go back 2 or 3 yards, thinking he's going to outrun some of these cornerbacks who are just as fast as he is. He does that every time. That cost us a first down on one of those important drives, I believe is in the early third quarter, where I just say, dude, just run the ball straight. Your straight line speed should be able to get 3 yards, but you're trying to dip it out for the big play. And I'm like, stop that. Stop. We got to stop. But that's, I don't know. This is borderline ridiculous. John Everett, where was Patterson on that play? Let me tell you something. Just like Waldo, John, I was wondering where, like you said, where's Waldo? Where's Patterson? Patterson scored 3 touchdowns, almost with one step, almost answered old boy with the kickoff. I don't know if y'all saw that. He almost answered them with the kick. He was by far your best player of the day. And your point is so valid, John. Where are your best players when you need them? Corey said, will we win 4 games this year? That's a tough question. 1 out of 4 at the beginning. It's a fair question. It's a fair question. Aaron said they started off good with getting the ball out of Matt Ryan's hands quick. They did that basically right up to the end, though, Aaron. My thing is, keep doing it. We all of a sudden, dude, on the first drive, we didn't just hand the ball 3 times in a row or just kind of some give-up plays. We can't do that. We're not that good yet. Right now, you saw you had an advantage against this Washington secondary. You should have taken advantage of it. Even the front seven that was so vaunted and everybody was saying that they were going to do something, they were kind of held in check. It's not like they completely dominated this offensive line today. And Matt was getting the ball out. Matt was letting that ball go. And a couple of those times with some nice catches, give guys a chance to make a play. Couple of nice stats from Pitts, couple of drops. Calvin, couple of drops. Got to get back to the drawing board with them drops too. Gregory, I just happened to see your thing. What's going on, brother? Said a lot of drop INTs, a lot of drop balls. Shocked to say Matt played an almost perfect game. Look, for all of the things that we go through, and I don't play the Ryanite, Cryonite, Noodle Arm crap. I play Matt, are you good? Matt, are you not? Matt played good today. Actually, next to Cordero, Matt might have played the second best game, might be the second best player on the field today. Matt played a very efficient, should have won the ball game. Matt got out of the pocket today. Matt showed a little bit of touch. Couple of those long passes that we criticized Matt for not throwing. What we said, what did we say the last 3 games? Matt's not throwing the ball down the field. Matt threw it today. Cats wasn't catching. Ridley wiped through his hands. Matt put it right on him. It was another one I know Ridley had to hold. Zacchaeus had to hold up just a little. Not that much, but it's in your hands. Y'all are receivers, man. Y'all got to catch that ball. We counting on y'all. I don't want to throw. Listen, defense deserves the criticism they get on that last drive without a doubt. But I don't want to sit here and act like those receivers weren't dropping some passes. Matt was more accurate than not today. I don't care what you say. And I'm one of the main critics of Matt. And I mean, like, fair critic, not I don't like you critic. Fair critic. Matt had a good game today. Matt had a game that he should have won, which is even the more baffling reason why you didn't trust him today. Arthur, and I put that on the coaching staff. You call the plays. You got to give that man a chance. At some point, you got to give a 14-year vet a chance. He's been doing, in that game, he's been doing more at his position than anybody else on both teams. You got to give him an opportunity. John said, meanwhile, Quinn looks like a superhero in Dallas. Listen, Quinn should look like a superhero when your team's putting up dang near 40 every game. You should. Quinn, look, when you're a defense coordinator on a high-power offensive team, you should look good. Because the other team's defense should be tired, and you shouldn't be on the field that much. John said Gallman looked better than Davis. He did at times. He did. And it's funny to me, John, that you bring that up, because Davis, I'm trying to figure, is Davis supposed to be in there on stretch runs? Anytime I see Davis going to the edges, it's something about it that says that should be either Patterson or even today Gallman. Why is Davis going? Dude, Davis supposed to be going through the trenches, man. I can see he knocked a couple of brothers down. I get it. But every time I see him do a stretch play, every time I see him, that scares me. Because I'm like, I don't see you as an east-west runner. I see you as a north-south guy. And I could be wrong. Maybe he does have that talent. I just didn't see it. Maybe that's just me. I want to give people credit. I really do. Keith, what's going on? Say, I think we got to wait for this coach to figure out how he wants to win. Shanahan's first year was similar, just keeps going. Difference of Shanahan's first year, we ran 4 in a row, 5 in a row, whatever it was. So let's not say it was just the same. I know offensively I get it, but look, these are times when realistically things have to settle in. Right now, you're not a very good football team. You're not probably a playoff-ish team. Does that mean we're going to quit and not root for you? No. What I'm saying is, from our standpoint, from fan standpoint, listen, we're going to have a lot more of these head-scratching, what are you doing type games before it's all over. All I want to see is improvement. Now, I will say this for the Atlanta Falcons. The difference today in that first game we had at home opener, you would have made me feel better with an effort like that against Philly than you did today. Neither I'm not satisfied with either because we didn't win. But at least today, you showed that you were a team that, look, if things go right and we execute, we can stay in the game with anybody. I don't think Washington is going to scare. I'm not even sure the way they're playing now, they're going to make the playoffs again this year. But I will say it was a very competitive game, and they didn't quit. So I give them that. Saul says our special teams on that kickoff return killed us too at the beginning of the third quarter. And it's one of those things, Saul, that nobody thinks about until after the fact. Dude, when I saw you're supposed to maintain your lanes coming down. Boy, I saw every single person squeeze in there. And then when he missed when that first tackle was missed, there was only one person left, and that was Younghoe Koo. I mean, everybody had gone in the middle. Everybody. Nobody maintained their lanes in special teams on that particular play. No one. That made that way too easy. Way too easy. Brandon says, dance with who got you there. Who brung you? Yeah, I hear you. Oh, yeah, we should have a spy on the quarterback. Listen, you better start thinking about something because you got Zach Wilson, who's running around today and runs around. You're going to have Tua's going to be back by the time we come out the bye. You know, you still got some very mobile quarterbacks. And I say mobile, athletic. That's what I'm going to go because mobile get y'all all funky. You got some mobile, athletic quarterbacks coming up on your schedule. Come on, y'all. Corey says, rumor has it that Matt's want to be traded. Man, y'all need to show me this story. I keep seeing everybody saying that, but hey, you'll see. Said John said Hugh is going to have fun with peas in the morning. Oh, don't you know it? Don't you know it? Dave, what's going on? Dave is listening on Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. Y'all check it out for me too, man. Put your subscribe thing. I appreciate it. Coach Pease, can you hold a press conference like you did and have your players come out the way they did on defense? See, that's the thing right there. That's why I said, if y'all noticed on my post, stop worrying about trying to answer the media. I said that on the post I put on there. If y'all read it this week, I told him that was the wrong thing. You don't come after media people. You need to worry about your defense, especially after today. Last thing I need to see you is near Mike. The way those guys played at the end. I mean, you need to worry about that. Stop worrying about all the rest of that stuff. Brandon says, tough loss. It is a tough loss. Armani says, if we don't make the playoffs this year, you're going to need to blow this thing up. Do you think Arthur Smith got this job because Arthur Blank and his daddy had business dealings together? Think about it. When the coaching market opened up, his name came out of nowhere. And honestly, the next person that needs to go, if anything, is Rich McKay. Here's the problem. First of all, the Rich McKay thing, I love how people bring him up. Rich McKay just got back into the football thing 2 years ago. He was dealing with the United building of the Benz and stuff like that. So honestly and truly, he hadn't even been in the football operation until 2019 when he got back. As far as what you're talking about with the Arthur Smith getting the job and stuff like that, dude, this was not an attractive job. Don't y'all know people are looking at this job? They're looking at this thing and they're saying, okay, you got Matt Ryan, who's clearly not the same quarterback he was in 2016. Obviously, he's good enough to do what he did today, but he's not the 2016 quarterback he is. You have, which behind the scenes, maybe GMs and coaches knew Julio was disgruntled. I don't know. You got a payroll that's full to the lip. You can't bring in free agents even if you wanted to. And you just have a team full of guys that just aren't that talented. I'm talking about coming into the year. Hopefully these young guys you have now, you can develop those. But I'm talking about what you inherited. That wasn't attracted to Eric Bieniemy. That's not attracted to another college coach coming out of a good program. All of that stuff is not attractive. You don't have a salary cap. Why do you think Urban Meyer ran to Jacksonville? And granted, they're not doing that great, but at the same time, at least he's got an opportunity. He had some cap room, and he had the number 1 pick where he knew he was going to get his guy. You didn't have that in Atlanta. You had a lot of mystery. You had a lot of, oh no, I don't know what we're going to do. Tony, what's going on? Tony, man, I'm sorry. I saw your post later on, man. I wish I had caught up with you down there, man. Say, yeah, Trevor looking better also. Absolutely. I actually think the Falcons played a hard-fought game, just couldn't finish strong. And that's the thing. Tony, the growth. Look, this year, y'all, stop thinking this is the 2016 and 17 squad. We got to stop doing that. We hadn't won more than 2 games before November in the last 4 years. Why are we starting to think now that all of a sudden, just in a snap, that we're going to do that? I know what they tell you. Some of y'all just listen to people's words and just think it's true. Well, Arthur Smith said, we're going to win now. Terry Fontenot said, we're not rebuilding. Of course they're going to tell y'all that. What y'all think they're going to tell y'all when they're trying to sell PSLs and replace defaulted PSLs in the stadium? Y'all think for 1 minute they're going to sit there and say, well, shoot, man, this is tough right here. Ain't no way we're going to win this year. Might well blow this thing up, rebuild it. So y'all expectations don't expect to win a game or two, but y'all come on down anyway. And judging by what I looked at the stadium, and I'm sure Tony can attest to this too, it ain't exactly filling up down there. The red that you saw in seats weren't jerseys. A lot of empty seats. And still lots of the enemy jerseys all over the place. All over. Chauncey said, well, he gets fined if he doesn't talk. Listen, nobody's saying don't talk. What I'm saying is, Chauncey, and I know you've been going back and forth with people as you should about, whether you should speak up, whether you shouldn't speak up. It doesn't have anything to do with you not going to the press conference and speaking. It has something to do with, why are you picking on media men? Why are you going after radio folks? Dude, I could care less about Hugh Douglas at all. I think he's overrated, shouldn't have the job he has now, terrible at it, didn't like him when he was with Philly, should have got his butt whooped by T.O., treated Michael Smith like crap when he was at ESPN, while he got kicked off that show and sent to probably somebody gave him this job at 92.9. That's an old other story. But at the same time, Dean Pease, why are you going to a radio show host? Why? Maybe he had a relationship with him and he knew him. I don't know. I just don't think you do that. That's to me, that's just crazy. I would never do that. For what? You're Dean Pease. You know what you got to deal with. You got a lot of rookies on defense. You got a lot of special teams guys from other teams trying to finally play a position here in the Atlanta Falcons defense. These guys are not going to be top 10. Don't let last week fool you. I think we were nice against a team that was not very good enough to beat the Saints today, which is always good. But don't let this defense fool you. It's going to be some growing pains, as you saw today. And again, we had a hurt Isaiah Oliver today, which I'm sure threw everyone off as well. It's got a lot of stuff to do, man. I'm so sorry. I got caught back up. Who is this right here? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to make sure I match y'all up with your names. If y'all ever get a chance to do the StreamYard thing where you can match your name up is so much easier because then I can call your name out. But when I have to match it up, I'm just gonna go down the line on a couple of these, y'all. I'm sorry. So it says even the Jets won today. Going back, said winners find a way to win, losers find a way to lose. True that. Dave, who was talking on Uncle Steve's Sports Lounge, says, I'd rather them play the young guys at safety. Hopefully they don't have hands of stone. Dave also said Dante Fowler has to get that sack on the TD throw. Well, I'm gonna. There were a couple of times seen Dante Fowler was on fire today as far as getting back there. Now, a couple of times he overran a couple of plays, but at least I saw him moving, which is a far cry from what last year was. So I'm going to give him credit. Norman, who has, I guess, used StreamYard before, I don't care how bad a team is, they always find a way to play their best against us. Doesn't it always seem like that? Always. Ridley played himself out of top dollar, unfortunately. You know what? That might be true. That might be true. Dude, you got to catch those balls, man. Again, for all the criticism that we've given Matt this year, Matt was accurate today, y'all. Sorry. Matt was accurate. Dave says giving Ridley 18 per is very risky. Yeah, it is. DeMarcus, what's going on? Said they cheated us, bro, Steven. We all know that it was a fumble by Washington. You know, that was listen, again, on that fumble, at first glance, it did look like it. The only thing that I'll say about that is for it being a fumble, he caught the ball and he turned. And when you turn, they say that's a football move. That was a football move to me. When you turn, they hit the ball out, that should have been a fumble. That being said, he turned. He really didn't go anywhere. It was split seconds. Sometimes referees don't get an opportunity. I think had the referee called it a fumble, it would have been a fumble. I think it was just whatever the first call was going to be. That's what I think from that standpoint. On Ridley, exactly. And I'm sorry, I'm going to get down to these so I can catch up with some of the things. As Smith doesn't have a plan for Pitts. Pitts was involved a little bit more today. Pitts had a drop. Even one of them, Matt kind of went a little too high for him on some. But Pitts, they had some good targets for Pitts. How many targets did Pitts get today? Pitts had 9 targets. 9 targets, 4 catches. Yeah, you got 9 targets. That's a pretty good go. Kyle had 4 for 50. Calvin Ridley, despite the drops, had 7 for 80. Cordero, 5 catches, 82 yards, 3 touchdowns. Ridiculous. Even Hayden Hurst, 4 targets, 4 catches, 29 yards, 25 receptions. Matt Ryan, 25 for 42. 283 yards, 4 touchdowns. Listen, folks, when Matt's doing stuff like that, man, you got to take advantage of it. So will we ever see 500? I'm not sure we're going to see it this year, friend. Joshua, how you doing? Say positive note for us. The Aints lost. Hey, I'll take that any day. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Dave says, I'm accepting this season for what it is shaping up to be. Had Richie Grant sitting. He's the first person to miss a tackle off that kickoff return. You know, in safety, man, that's one of those positions, and I know he did on special teams, but I'll say that's one of those positions, people asking why he's not on the field and stuff like that. You know, sometimes it might take a minute, man. Just because we draft them in the first and second round doesn't necessarily mean that they are ready for prime time right now. There are some players you draft in the 4th round that are ready. See, Grady. Was Grady 4th or 5th? Whatever he did for him. He just happened to be ready. Sometimes, depending on the guys, look, we draft. That doesn't mean it's all over with. This coach calling in. Oh, you know what? I gotta hook up my phone thing. You know what? I need to take this off. My phone line is on the other side. I didn't really hook it up today. My apologies. If y'all want to get on quick, because I was trying to get everybody to the 8:00 game, hook me up and let me know in the inbox, and I'll hook you a quick link if you want to get on. We still in last, so it's not a win. How many picks did the defense drop? Yeah, couple. 4 drops for Ridley, but 4 big drops, man. 4 big drops. Huge drops. Huge drops, y'all. Dave said, Matt name should not be associated with this loss. But here's the problem. Here's the problem, Dave. Problem that I tell everybody, no matter what, it doesn't matter. You are the QB of an NFL team. You could throw for 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, have a 111 rating, and it's your loss. I know it's not fair. That's how the game is played. That's how it is. I'm sorry. Joshua says, fair enough, but we gotta have some kind of light. I got these fools tatted on me, so I gotta find something. Josh, look, there is positive, man. Look, these young guys are gonna get better. I think Kyle is gonna be nice. You see little things about him there. He snatched that one out of the air that I said to myself, oh man, if you can do that for us on a regular basis, you're gonna be nice, man. Seriously. Kenzel, what's going on? Say I'm late to the party, but I feel like the last few minutes we were up by 2. Patrick Peterson should have ran the ball. Talk about Cordero Patterson should have run the ball. Absolutely. Sure. Okay, I see you corrected it after that. With all them drop passes and interceptions, they got to invent some stick 'em. I was thinking the same thing. I was sitting there talking to the guy behind me, and I said, boy, of all times for them to start talking about stick 'em, we really needed that. Okay, 22 was trash. The 2 plays, we benched 39, allowed a touchdown. I wish we took Asante Samuel instead of Richie Coast. Give Grant some time, man. I think as with all things, see, that's what we, unfortunately, you know what we did, y'all? And I say we. Folks overhyped these rookies. We thought we were going to get a rookie class like we did in 16 and just plug and play. These guys got to learn how to play. These guys need to learn how to play. And the difference is the 2016 rookies, they had an advantage. They had an offense that was blowing folks off the roof. So they got a chance to make mistakes. They got a chance to learn how to be together. That 2016 team, when you brought in, a 1-year Grady, Dion was a rookie, Campbell was a rookie, Neal was a rookie. You think about all those rookies they had in there, but the difference was they were learning, supporting an offense that was scoring 30 points a game. So they got a chance to do that. Look at that year and see how many 30-something to 20-something games, 40-something to 30 games that you had that year in 2016. Those guys got a chance to learn. You don't have that backing of an offense this year. The offense this year showing a little life today, but on a consistent basis, you don't have that. So you're going to be exposed. That's no excuse. You still have to do what you need to do to protect the end zone. But I just think that the plays that they scored on, the Hail Mary, the mini Hail Mary that Heineke just threw up there, there's no way that ball should be landing in an offensive player's hand as long as that ball went up in the air. And that just goes to show you there was nobody in the area code that could have run over there and got that ball. Ridiculous. Aaron says, like I said, coaches and defenses lost this game. Lamar, everyone looked better than Davis. 12 touches, 13 yards. Dude was dancing like a ballerina. He said, now, and I do correct you on that stat. He was 13 of 14. 13 for 14 yards, Lamar. How dare you leave that one carry off. That man looking for that extra yard. So 13-14. RJ says, let's talk about this draft class. Oh boy, when you start talking about Mayfield and you start talking about Grant, Pitts, yes, it's early, y'all. It's early. And I'm trying to be positive because the majority of times rookies are not expected to jump on the field and just start balling. Now, Kyle Pitts, different expectation for Kyle Pitts. Richie Grant, yeah, you kind of expected to be on the field, but there's something going on there where they think you don't need to be on there. My thing is, please tell us what it is, because I would have rather him be out there messing up than not be on the field at all. I don't know. David says, my issue is even with a new staff in place, this team makes the most elementary mistakes possible. Dave says Matt will never request a trade. He knows he has a cult following in Atlanta. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Who is that right there? Say Lamar says, thank you. Fools be like, why the Falcons didn't get this player, this coach? They have to want to work here. Yeah, he's talking about what I was talking about earlier. Absolutely. Dave, Arthur Smith in the interview said that he does not know much about the FedEx guy. Why would he hire Arthur Smith? Basically, I mean, it's too late for that. I mean, it's Lisa said couldn't finish strong. Has been our MO for years. Hey, how you doing, Roger? Said good night, Uncle Steve. I was starting to think us fans overhype the talent we have on the team. I think we have a few talented players, but we have to get better acquiring better talent. And Roger, it's a very good point. Unfortunately, I think in 2021. You have to have a mix. You have to have a mix of rookies, and you have to have the right free agents. We can't afford the free agents this year. So most of the time when you have a rookie class that's coming in, you could sprinkle in some quality free agents that had been around and have played at a higher level. Listen, no disrespect to Eric Harris. Eric Harris was a special teams guy with the Raiders. No disrespect to Brandon Copeland. Brandon Copeland isn't what he was advertised to be. These guys that they had coming in here are not the guys that you need to keep this thing moving, at least right now. And it's hard. It's hard to preach patience to a fan base that has gone through this for 4 straight years. It's hard. It's hard to preach patience to us because we're promised in 18, in 19, in 20, and this year. Progress is coming. It's looking good on the other side. We're promised that every year, and we don't get it. Roger says, I don't think we have enough talent on both sides of the team. You're right. You're right. I tell you what, though, I do look, and Jalen Mayfield got his obligatory penalty again today, but I do like the offensive line's blocking, pass blocking, a little bit better every week. These guys, there are no joke folks on that front line today, and officially, I think they got to Matt once. Did they officially get there once? Let me double check. I went way too far. Officially, 1 sack today. 1 sack. That's not bad. That's not bad for this team. So you do have to look at some positives. You do. Lisa says seats were plentiful. Let me tell you something, Lisa. If they still did paper tickets and they were scalping, folks would have been able to get bargains today. There were a sea of red seats out there today. I wish it was better, but it's not. May as well close the third level of the Bears into the SEC championship. Hey, who is that? Lamar. You're wrong, Lamar, but you're wrong, but you're right. Brother Eric, how you doing today, sir? Say, yeah, they need to blow it up. Just keep a few guys, but we need a fresh start. I love Matt, but he needs to be somewhere that gives him a chance to win a chip. And we need to try to draft Malik Willis from Liberty, even if Matt gives us another year, and let him learn from what he can. But we need something new at this point. But Eric, your point is right. I'm trying to figure out what's the difference from drafting a quarterback this year and last year. I mean, I understand people keep talking about the 2 years he'll sit on the bench, which is ridiculous in its own notion. You draft people to win the game. You draft people to try to improve your team. And if they happen to have to come in the middle of year 2, so be it. If it's going to win the game. I'll look at this San Francisco, looking at Lance coming out there at the end. Kyle Shanahan, I know y'all don't like to hear his name right here. Kyle Shanahan trying to win the game. He don't care who got to play. So great thought. We should have done that last year. Lisa said we could have been 2-2, tied with the Aints. Instead, we're throwing a basement parties with the NFC South with this 1-3 record. And think about it, Lisa. We also could have been one game out of first place. One game, because Carolina got pushed down. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, okay, RJ, I see you, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you supporting on Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. Thank y'all, man. And now I said, Dre, I didn't connect it today. I didn't connect up the phone. I usually do the Monday show. I might try to see if I can hook up with Tidy, who is doing a little bit of voluntary jail work this week on Facebook. So see if I can hook up with him and see what we got going on. Hurst finally got a look. I see that on there, man. Hurst, and you could tell Hurst was fired up, man. 4 targets, 4 catches. Man. Look, people forgot before we started talking about Kyle Pitts, Hurst is not a slouch. We just got to get him the ball. And today he got the ball a couple of times and made some nice plays. Nice catches, nice runs after the catch. Got us a first down. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me just read the rest of these down here. I'm trying to put y'all comments up there, but y'all are going fast and furious, which I love, but it's hard to keep up. Orion says, we're not going to be contenders till we afford to play the talented players. What's up, Ricky? How you doing, brother? Brother. Say, tell me why we went conservative in the fourth quarter, brother. We've been talking about it before you came on, brother. Your guess is as good as mine. Brandon, is there a legitimate reason the scouting department can't find pass rushers? And again, remember, this is a whole new scouting, folks. So you can't go back to the old folks and blame the TD era. These are supposed to be new guys. I said it myself. New set of eyes. Hopefully they look and find some guys who can do some pass rushing. We didn't get it today. We did not. Brandon says McGarry and Mayfield played well today. They did. They did. Mayfield got to get those pre-snap penalties under control, though. Got to. Ronnie says offensive line did great with all them first rounders they had on the D line. Ronnie, we got to start giving them guys credit, man. Listen, we criticized them as we should in game 1, game 2. At the end of the game, they didn't show up. Last week, a little bit better. Today, I think even better. I think by far this is the best front 4 we played this year. And I think they held up well. And Matt shows when they hold up well, he'll do those things, which goes back to the baffling point of why you're not passing the ball with 3 minutes left in the game instead of sitting there trying to make Mike Smith this volume runner at the end. And he wasn't even the best runner on the game. And Ricky says, where's Patterson? You asking the same questions everyone asked me when I first got in. Ronnie said we were going to draft the quarterback, but Ali Lance was our guy. The backup plan was Pitts. I think, Ronnie, you on the same wavelength that myself and a few others were. I think had Lance not been picked at 3, I think we would have got Lance and the Kyle Pitts thing would have been history. But unfortunately, things are as they are, and we moved on. Ricky says Matt looked like the 2013 Matt. Absolutely. Terry says Mayfield sucked today. You got to be kidding me. Mayfield was not that bad today, brother. You know how Mayfield was not that bad? Only time I heard Mayfield's name was when he now, if you want to talk about Mayfield, let the guy get to 1 inch of Matt and Matt released the ball, I actually don't care. Because what I don't want to hear is sack given up by Mayfield. We had 1 sack today. And if that was the one he gave up, the 1 was better than the 3 in the first week. Got to take a little bit, as you say. And nobody's saying he's all of a sudden Anthony Munoz. I'm not trying to tell you that. But you got to start from somewhere. He was absolute garbage his first week. And he's moved on to now where look, he's going up against Montez Sweat, too. It's not like he's going up against a third-tier defensive lineman. And we can't nitpick on a team that has holes all around like that. I give him a little bit of credit. Ricky says Hurst is a playmaker. He just needs the ball. Eric said, I agree. We should have done it last year. But I'm saying since we didn't do it, then we need to do it this offseason. We can't keep doing the same and expect anything else besides what we've seen. And I wasn't criticizing you per se. I was saying that when you kept hearing all of those folks keep talking about if we draft a quarterback, he's going to sit for 2 years, which is stupid to me. Which is the dumbest thing that you asked for. So I wasn't criticizing you at all. Dave says, my advice, if you don't have patience, sit it out. True. Absolutely. Terry says, what's up with the elementary play calling, especially in the fourth quarter? Terry, I had flashbacks of some of the stuff in the, and I hate going to this game because everybody goes to it, but the Super Bowl, when you start talking about plays that when you're doing something that's successful against a team, you stick with it. Sometimes when you talk about the first 10 to 15 plays of the game, they're scripted. Because the reason why you script it is, one, you just want to have something that you can start off with and go to quick. And two, you want to see how the defense is reacting. And it was clear to me 2 things that were going on in the game that Washington couldn't deal with. Cordero Patterson and the quick passing game. How many times did Matt hit folks for 7 yards, 6 yards, 5 yards, 6? They couldn't do anything with it because their pressure wasn't getting to Matt as quick as they thought it was. So we were killing them with that. Why stop? Matt was actually throwing the ball downfield more in this game than he has combined the first 3 games because he had a decent pocket, contrary to belief. He had a decent pocket. And the receivers left them hanging on about 6 catches today. Somebody go back and check. He left them hanging on about 6 catches, if you ask me. What's going on, brother? Say drop pick, foul, miss, sack, Foye, forced the fumble, got overturned. You're right. Those are listen, and even with those things, you still had an opportunity to win the game. Even with all of that happened, you still had an opportunity. So you have to keep, you have to keep going. Terry says, is this guy no offense? And Davis drops like a bag of potatoes. If he's touched, our wide receivers couldn't hold on today either. I love Patterson. Terry, it was just so interesting. Hey, Kevin, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Said this is the only sack Washington has gotten all year. Probably so. We were playing Washington. They are the worst. They were playing Washington. Their whole team is beat up. Look, they had their opportunities, Kevin. We should have taken advantage of that. We absolutely should have. Yeah, this game on Sunday night is insufferable. Yeah, I know we got the great Brady goes home game, which I know ESPN is probably dressing up and putting on makeup for this game because Tom Brady is the greatest person to ever walk the planet and all this crap. Yeah, it's almost like I don't want to watch the game because I know it's going to be all of this crap with the Brady comes home thing. But then there's another reason I say I do want to watch it because it is what it is. So speaking of that, look, y'all, we chopped it up today. We are going to chop it up tomorrow, Monday, like we normally do. I don't know what the format is, whether we're going to be all together, separate, or whatever, but we're going to try our best to get to you guys. We're going to get to you guys as quick as we can tomorrow. Talk a little bit about what we got going on next week because we go overseas with the Jets and see what we got going on. Until then, thank y'all for being in Atlanta Bird Game. More importantly, thank y'all for being in Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. Please, if you're on the Facebook side, just go over and hit a subscribe button for me. You get to watch the replays on this and some other content that I got going on over there in the YouTube atmosphere. All right, until then, y'all take care. Enjoy the game today, and we'll talk to y'all tomorrow afternoon, okay? Take care.